It's 23.9. But just want to be accurate about that. Go ahead, Mr. Gray.
Mr. Chairman, you've kindly corrected me twice, both of which were necessary. Mr. Rogers, I understand you're adding $23.9 billion, not $25 billion. Could you tell us what you propose to do with that $23.9 billion?
I think I just told you in my opening statement.
I thought you might go item by item.
No, I don't
when you
think
get
so. It basically funds all the UPers for the various commanders.
I'm sorry.
Unfunded requirements.
Unfunded requirements.
Yes. And 200 member requests from both the Democrat and the Republican side.
And so we have 200 member requests.
Right.
Could you list the member requests?
No, sir.
They are earmarks, are they not?
I don't care what you call them. I like them.
We need it. We need it.
Mr. Rogers, you're a serious person. You're adding $23.9 billion. You're increasing the deficit by $23.9 billion, which is small compared to the other deficits that we're creating. But nonetheless, it is that. And I think this committee deserves, and the general public deserves, to know what you intend to spend the 29.
And there has been a table released to every member of this committee itemizing everything in it, all the UPers and all 200 of those expenditures. Nobody's hiding anything from you, John.
There's a process that occurs for earmarks, a public process that all of us have been made aware of. We use that in the other earmarks that went on. Has that process been used in the earmarks that are in this bill?
May I take a stab at this? You can pause the time for just a second. There is nothing out of order about the amendment that Mr. Rogers is offering. We can argue the merits of it, but it is within the rules of the committee, and we have followed all of those rules, and it is perfectly in order to be considered.
Okay. Call them what you want. We have 200 member requests here. Is it possible to determine which members added what to the $23.9 billion deficit increase?
I'm sorry, I'll take that. It's certainly possible.
My time has expired, but I'll let the question hang out.
Okay. All right, let me take a stab at this. I do not support the amendment. Now, I do think Mr. Rogers has worked with this entire committee in putting together this amendment. And, you know, yeah, it's a lot, but the bill's a lot for that matter. You know, it's not something that you can simply pick up by glancing at it for a minute or two. But if you want to know what's in Mr. Rogers' amendment, it is there, all printed out, $23.9 billion. That is allocated to all these different programs. The reason I oppose the amendment is because I really believe that the single most important thing that the Defense Department needs to do right now is spend its money wisely, is do a better job of acquisition and procurement, do a better job of anticipating what the threats are now versus what they were 30 years ago. And if we give them another $23.9 billion, it takes the pressure off. It makes it easier for them to just keep doing what they've been doing. And that, I think, is the largest problem. I certainly agree that our national defense budget needs to be strong. Consistently, there are members of my party that have argued to cut the defense budget by 10%. We've had amendments on that by 20%. I've rejected those amendments. Last year, in Donald Trump's last budget, we had a $3 billion increase in the entire defense budget, which passed without anybody saying anything. This year, under President Biden, we had a $12 or $13 billion increase, and then all of a sudden it became an issue that we weren't spending enough. My concern on this has always been that if you're trying to measure, okay, what is a good, strong national defense budget, the easiest way to do it is, well, if you spend money, you're doing better, right? By definition. And I think far too often that is the path that we have taken. Whatever it is, we got to spend more so that we show we're stronger on defense than somebody else. I don't think that works. I think we have too many programs over the course of the last 20 years that we've spent billions of dollars on and got nothing for the taxpayer out of it. I think what we need is a more rigorous approach to the money that we have. And we can go through the list. Future combat systems, the F-35, the Expeditionary Fighting Vehicle, the Ford-class carrier, the MOX facility down in South Carolina. Item after item after item, we have spent billions of dollars without getting anything for that money that we have spent. That does not make us safer. This is the argument that I've had. We have had a very numbers-focused approach to the defense budget. And look, I have, been on this committee for 25 years, and very early on I noticed something. Basically what happens is people come in here and testify before us and scare us about one problem or another that we're never ready for, all in the pressure cooker to spend more money. And too often we have not spent that money wisely. So I think the president's budget, and I am aware that not too many people out there are willing to defend the president's budget, but I am one of them. The president's budget had the exact right number to get to the right results. Simply throwing more money at the problem does not solve it. So I don't support this amendment. I understand the spirit in which it was brought, and certainly there are some programs in there which you might like and some that you don't like. I just think that the focus of the Defense Department going forward needs to be on transformation, on being ready for the threats we face today, stopping wasting monies on programs that aren't working for us, and improving their acquisition reform. And this amendment will take the pressure off, and will make it less likely that they do that. So therefore, I oppose it. Who seeks